My name is SANDREZ, and it consists of 7 letters that I will be platinuming in the next 7 days. It means that I will have to platinum a game that starts with the corresponding letter of my name. So for example, Sackboy for S, Arc Raiders for A, Need for Speed for N, and so on until my entire name is spelled out on my trophy list. Doing this in 7 days, however, might prove a challenge, as I have to platinum a game every single day for a week straight, and if I fail, I have to platinum this wank. So let's try and avoid that, starting with the letter Z, or Z, because going backwards would spell my name out properly when viewing my trophy list. However, the Z letter already has very little games to pick from. I remembered from my alphabet challenge that Z basically only had zombie games. It meant that there were only a few games I was interested in, like Zombie Army. However, I've already started that and I wanted fresh games only. So I also saw Zorro. However, I'm not paying 40 euros for something that looks like this, so I inevitably ended up at a zombie game called Zombies Overloaded. This was honestly the best looking game I could find that would fit my criteria, so I dove straight in on day 1. After playing through the 3-second tutorial and loading in, I was quickly met with a few trophies. Yo, let's go! First trophy already. I'm not gonna lie, from the first 10 seconds that I've been playing this, it actually feels very fun. 2 trophies, okay, well, it's not shovelware guys, I promise. Dude, okay. There's a few incredibly good games coming up for those later letters, but contrary to what you may think, this game was fast growing on me in terms of fun factor. A couple waves further on, I was met with a boss man zombie and he actually killed me. I failed on the next attempt again, but thankfully beat him on my 3rd times the charm attempt, because the main trophy I was focusing on was for reaching wave 20 on this map. I would have to do that on another map as well, with a very different game mode in between. The game had some really good funky music along with it, but I soon realized I stopped making any progress. I mean, I couldn't get past like wave 9, so I looked around and discovered the upgrades tab. Here I could upgrade my guns and abilities with coins that I either found or traded from bones I picked up. After doing so and getting stronger, I already killed 1000 of these zombies and got to further waves consistently, but I was still stuck on this boss man every single time I faced him. I really had a bone to pick with him, and it took me so many more tries than I ever imagined because he would always one-shot me. No way, why am I so shit at this? No way, what the fuck is what am I doing wrong? No. Dude, just die, like actually. Thank you. Next, I was just trying to get as far as I could each run, whilst collecting coins and bones to upgrade my weapons and abilities. With each wave, the zombies got faster, stronger, and deadlier, especially the boss zombie that still kept killing me in the later waves, preventing me from reaching that desired wave 20. Oh my god, this guy needs to piss off so much. Holy shit. I took some steroids and got a trophy for upgrading all abilities at least once. Doing the same run on the same map every time over and over actually got me into a flow state where I genuinely lost track of time because it was just a mindless, simple grind that I vibed with. And I did that all the way until I reached 10,000 kills. 10,000 of them. 10,000 of them. And it's all been in this level. I have been stuck here for so long. It was also on this run that everything finally fell into place on the 20th wave. Holy shit, I might have done it. Fucking finally. I think. Don't speak too soon. Oh, jeez. That allowed me to move to the other maps for some new trophies, so I upgraded everything and then had to run around this map without any guns. This seemed insanely daunting at first, as I had to reach 100,000 points without having anything to defend myself. However, I just had to run around the map and not be stupid, which was kinda boring, but I got there after a few minutes. I had just one map remaining before I had already beaten the first letter. I had to reach level 20 here again, but with a different map layout and boss fight. But then stumbled across a trophy that I hadn't paid enough attention to, and that was the Big Spender trophy for unlocking all the skins. These cost a lot of coins, and I thought that would take a Fortnite-esque grind to get through. However, before tackling that, I wanted to get this map out of the way first, before starting to focus on all that coin farming. I got another few meaningless trophies in between for simple tasks, but this time the boss was armored and a lot more annoying than the first. So it took me multiple tries before I understood how to navigate around him, but all in all, it wasn't the worst thing I had to sit through. It left just one simple but grindy trophy for unlocking all the skins. However, it was getting pretty late, so I logged off for my beauty sleep at night and came back the next morning fruity and fresh to grind out those coins. I had gotten a few coins over time already, so I bought the most expensive one first, as it makes my mind think the grind is less. I don't know why, but it's how I tackle my Clash of Clans upgrades as well. Anyway, coincidentally, without me knowing, I equipped this skin and it was actually super useful, as it allowed gold zombies to spawn that would drop coins when killed. And that was amazing, because it would save a lot of repetitive grinding. It probably went twice as fast as otherwise, and I unlocked each skin one by one, trading bone meal for emeralds until I had enough to buy the final skin of the game. That's it. W. Fun game, simple game. Day 1, Plat 1. It honestly wasn't a bad game, and a quick simple one to start this challenge with. It also meant that I could start the second game while still on day 1 to get nice ahead of schedule, as I knew this would get tougher towards the end, especially with the games I would end up choosing. The next letter in my name was the letter E, home to games like This Snooze Fest, This Trash Fest, but also Elden Ring, Evil West, Endling that I did for my Alphabet Challenge, and a few other games. But I wanted something different, and I saw a game that I had seen a lot of you guys play during my Platinum Trophy List review streams, and that was Ether 1. Honestly, I have no clue what this game was, but with it being so popular, it had to be a decent game, right? Mostly because I don't want to do my current game. Fair enough, what game could possibly be that bad? Ether 1? Is Ether 1 that bad? Surely Ether 1's not that bad. Well, turns out not everyone enjoyed the game, but I was willing to give it a fair chance anyway. The game just kinda dumps you into it without much context, so I was walking around mindlessly through what looked like a science lab. I got my first trophy after repairing and turning on this chair that would capture my memories, as this lab was apparently for some sort of future memory company that fights dementia or something. I wasn't exactly sure, but I guess it fits with me being confused. I end up in a completely different area and have to figure out this puzzle code. This would be a theme throughout the game, as it involves a lot of puzzle solving to get through the story. However, this puzzle already, everywhere I looked, in each corner, item I picked up, or wall I looked through, I could not for the life of me figure out what the code would possibly be. Reading the text didn't help me either, and I was already forced into using a walkthrough. Why is it 1670? Why is it 1670? I haven't seen that anywhere. But even with the answer, I have no idea where it came from, so if anyone could explain that, that would be great. I wanted to avoid being helped as much as possible, so in the town I reached after that, I was trying to solve the puzzles as best I could. But I could enter each building and take any item anywhere, which resulted in me getting confused about where to go or what to do first. Until I found a random wheel I could use here. 50 minutes. 50 minutes it took me to finally make progress. But after that, I spent a good another 40 minutes roaming around without any progress because I just couldn't figure out what the game wanted me to do. I just couldn't take wasting so much precious time doing nothing but hating my own brain for not being gifted with an IQ over 50. Maybe because my head was brain rotted due to every game holding your hand with yellow paint telling you exactly what next step to take. I don't know, it made my noodle malfunction, and honestly the game was kinda lackluster and uneventful so far that if I hadn't already popped a trophy, I would have probably switched it out for something else. But onwards we go and forward we fight. I did pop the next trophy for finding and starting the 5th of 20 projectors I needed. I was finally making some progress and felt like I wasn't just wandering around anymore, but I was still trying to understand what this British town was all about. I was also trying to fill my shelves in this memory hub thing for the trophy to fill all the shelves, so I was picking up every single item I came across. Slowly, I was kinda understanding the dementia memory story that was taking place, but overall still quite confused honestly. Like towards the end of chapters when these weird PT-esque detective levels take place. Why do I have to flashbang myself for this? Like, what a weird, interesting sequence. Wait, is this my missable trophy? This might be my missable trophy. Maybe it just pops. I don't know if it's now. It is now. Fire. Let's go. Fire. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Noticed how I only spoke about one missable trophy? Yeah, I should have read the guide better. I did a little bit of backtracking here for trophy purposes and then grabbed more random items to fill my shelves with, which turned me into a hoarder. These areas we visit are supposedly vague memories, and I gotta say that the environments were often really nice. But solving the puzzles here was deadeye so crazy, like I have no idea how I would have ever figured out this bizarre candle and light puzzle on my own. So let me know if you completed this game without a guide, because I certainly would never have been able to. Sure, it's an easy game on paper, but it is a mentally very tough 7 out of 10 game, bro. I can't lie. Some of these puzzles, man, they are so insanely hard that I would have never figured it out. Like, my brain capacity does not exist there. I was nearing the end of the story on day 2 of the challenge, making great speed to get ahead of schedule for some more enjoyable games after this, because this reminded me so much of my struggles in that British walking sim game from another challenge, so I was glad to almost be done. Or so I thought, but more on that later. I got another trophy after restoring the final plaque with my Jedi mind tricks and made my way through the last area. I was finding the last few collectibles I needed, which were both these Dungeons and Dragons ogres and these cute little ribbons. But this town had an odd layout that had me confused where I needed to go all the time. Luckily, after walking around a little too legally blindly for too long, I found the church where I rang the ding-a-ling bells in the correct order to find the 20th and final projector. I kept my eyes open for other collectibles and quickly found the last ogre for my nerd collection, and just 2 minutes later collected my last booty call. And another 104 seconds after that, found the last story related ribbon to enter the final chapter of this game with just one trophy remaining. This was for taking a picture in those weird detective dark flashbang levels. But I didn't realize that till now, and was scared I hadn't done this properly in the previous rooms. Thankfully, I could go back to the memory hub and open the doors once more to walk through them and spam the photo pictures at every point I needed. So fairly confident I had cleared the missable trophy with just the one final remaining one at the end, I pieced together the story just like how the character we play as pieced together their memory, thanks to the science company behind it all, and so I made my way to the final 4th room where I could take the final few pictures, spamming it at every necessary spot before leaving, and... I am asking myself the same goddamn question, because where's my platinum trophy, bro? Confused, annoyed, and scared that my trophy didn't pop where it should have, I figured I should finish the actual final story cutscene to see if it would pop there. So I played through the final bits hoping that that had fixed it. I love it when devs do that, and I actually understood the story. But where's my fucking trophy? Where is my trophy, bro? Where? Dude, if I have to do a whole nother playthrough, bro, I am going to freak out. I really did not want to play through this slow-ass game for a whole new playthrough just for one stupid trophy, so I loaded up my last save and tried everything I possibly could to go back through these doors and take those pictures. But they must have been in the Mr. JE files because these Bubba pictures were completely inaccessible. I read a comment that it's possible here that gave me hope, but I just couldn't get through a single door, and it slowly started to sink into me that I was going to be forced into a second playthrough. So there really was no other option than to start a new game from a fresh save file, and I would use some amazing speedrun strats to get through this game as quickly as possible, because I needed all the time I could get for those next letters. I mean, I should have just read the trophy guide properly and should have made a save right before entering the point of no return. But even in fairness, I did backtrack the final rooms to avoid this exact situation. So I just listened to the GOAT CR7 talk to this ball sucker to keep me entertained and making sure to get through this game as fast as I could. And I got all the way until the end of the game in Keemstar speed, but I found out that I could see the photos I had taken in a room down below the hub, and I checked that before entering the final room at the point of no return again. But what I saw there was that I was missing a whole 3rd room full of pictures. Like, that just doesn't make any sense, and I have no idea why it didn't count those. So I went back through all 3 rooms to triple, quadruple, penta check I had gotten them all, made a save file right before entering the last room, taking 3 pictures of every item I needed to hopefully snap the final picture. Yes! I am so over this game. Get it out of here. 2 days in, and even with a setback already, 2 of 7 letters completed. However, because I spent a little longer on that game than I had planned, I had to switch up the next game I had pre-picked for something shorter. Because even though I was technically still on schedule, Red Dead Redemption 2 was... No, the letter R did have enough games I was interested in, like Rogue Company, Resident Evil games, RoboCop or Roller Drome, but then I came across the sequel of a game that I loved the first game of so much that I knew would be perfect for this challenge, and that was Red Matter 2. This was a game I instantly bought after finishing the first Red Matter not too long ago. So I put on my headset and was instantly met with his recognizable PlayStation Spider-Man font, so I knew I was back. Just minutes into the first level, I was greeted with my first Star Trek reference for simply progressing. Star Wars reference. Silly. I got familiar with the controls again, and I had a jetpack this time, which was pretty cool. I also really liked how the hands in this game mimic the PSVR 2 controllers, which just adds to the immersion that many VR games lack, and I already love this game so much more than the previous walk sim I just finished playing. We relive a bit of the first game with our old crew on a space spy mission and get some backstory about how some alien goo material, the Red Matter, has been taken over by some mysterious evil Dr. Lysenkov, who has done something with it and our old friend chasing after him. I get into my rocket ship and spotted a Tesla in the distance before arriving on a secret base belonging to the glorious country of Volgravia. This one won't be making an appearance in the Platinuming Every Country series, but this great nation really made it difficult to get past their giant doors. I'm honestly kinda annoyed how long I spent trying to figure out how to open them, but once I did, it made it very rewarding to solve the easiest puzzle of the game.
Let's get inside.
It was also a worthy sequel so far, with great graphics, a voiced main character, and new visuals that I know make it sound like I'm glazing the game into infinity and beyond, but trust me, this game was really fun so far. Also, every room I entered was like a big escape room trying to solve the puzzle, which I really enjoyed figuring out, as the hints and clues were challenging but fair. Some trippy Red Matter stuff happens, I unlock some new abilities, and play with some drones having to chase my former colleague to another moon, this time to Triton, which is one of Neptune's moons. I have to fix this ancient futuristic train next to Uranus and then had to avoid these turrets stealthily to get to the big reactor on this planet. This is where I gained a new ability, the inevitable VR gun. But I got stuck here for a bit trying to figure out how to overheat the reactor. I tried so many things here, but this 3-dimensional puzzle didn't click with me until I discovered I had to use these books to make a cairn out of. Which, believe me, if you haven't played VR before, cairns in this reality are even worse than you can imagine, like I actually wanted a KMS. So after some back and forth trying to get the exact right precise angle, I get the reactor to the right settings to overheat. This took ages, but I finally got past it and headed back past the turrets from before. However, because this last section took too long, I kind of forgot about the trophy I had to do here, which was to shoot the turrets on my way out, so I would have to come back for that trophy after the story, which was still on track when I reached the end station for an easy story trophy. Here I come across the first of 25 drones I needed to destroy, but got this after eliminating the first 2. Star Wars. Newbie's hope, dude, I love these Star Wars references. On this Death Star planet, they have a big fucking missile and had aimed it at Earth. We're good. I'm safe. Fuck y'all. I'm safe. I think. I'd hope. I'd guess. We're kinda screwed. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, if this was an Every Country Platinum video that I was saving this for initially, then we'd all be fucked. But thankfully, the Spanish devs left us a beautiful, exquisite Spanish wine. A few more annoying tiny precise puzzles and some bombastic brutalist communism designs later, I am ambushed by more drones, so I turn off this panel to stop them from spawning. Apparently the crew that was based here had disappeared and something was fishy in space because nothing seemed to make sense as to what their leader Lysenkov was telling us. But they did leave behind this incredibly cute little robot that I scanned for a trophy. This Timu Dr. Evil Lysenkov tells us what's up and how villainous he is, so I didn't like that. But when investigating his office, I stumbled across a puzzle that I remembered I could not for the life of me solve in the first game. You see, these symbols are placed and hidden around the 2 rooms, but I looked everywhere and I honestly found maybe 2. I kept looking inside and under items, but I had no idea what they were, so I just tried it with the ones I was certain for and brute forced my way through the puzzle by spamming and hoping for the best.
What? No way that worked. No way that worked. What?
Hidden behind that wall was a safe with his ID, and I steal that to try and find the true meaning of this red matter stuff that he was obsessed with. I did get ambushed on the way out by more drones, but managed to shoot the 25th one already. I progressed towards the ending of the game through this sinister prison insane asylum thing that must have kept the crew there, until I stumble across my old friend Stas that I'd been chasing all game. I press a few self-destruct buttons for the glory of Volgravia and to end Lysenkov's reign and finish the story. Fantastic game. Fantastic game. Honestly, such a good VR game. You know, actually, the sequel might actually be better than the first, which rarely ever happens, but I actually think it is. But we still have one more trophy remaining that I missed initially, which is for destroying those turrets, so hopefully that doesn't take too long. I loaded back into the area I needed through chapter select, and thankfully the game didn't have any collectibles like the first one, because fuck me do VR collectibles suck, so thankfully I don't have to go on a rant this time, and they really did improve on every aspect on this game. Upon unlocking the gun again, I made my way back to the turrets and made sure to shoot all 3 of them this time. Glory to Volgravia. Actually such a fire game, and I really enjoyed the entire experience, so I highly recommend it if you need a good VR game. However, it also took me a little longer than the guide said, so I again needed to switch up my plans because although on schedule, I could not afford falling behind. So the next letter in my name was the big D. This was a letter that had a lot of games I was interested in and so much choice. Games like Dead Space, Dead Island, Doom, Dredge, Deliver Us Mars, and so many more. So whilst browsing the store, I was looking for something that fit my criteria of not being too long or difficult, but still being a fun experience, and that's when I stumbled across Daxter. The only other Jak and Dax game I've ever played was the Precursor's Legacy back when I did it for the letter J in the Alphabet Challenge. This time, however, there is no Jak and only Daxter. When I saw this symbol just after loading in, I realized this was a PSP port and not a PS2 classic like I thought, and therefore had no idea what to expect. The main goal in this ancient game was to exterminate all the bugs, and well, that's basically all we got. After I was told to do this in the opening cutscene, I already popped my first trophy, and didn't realize Jak came from Rivendell with all these orbs. But after spotting the first one, I turned into a B1 series battle droid clanker once more because of this doo-doo microphone.
Not these again. Thankfully, the trophy guide says I don't even need to collect all of them this time. I only need like half of them. Like, what's the... I don't understand that, but I'll take it.
I walked to the first level across the street, and that's where I popped yet another trophy already. Yeah, throughout the game, I would be rewarded with a trophy about every 5 minutes for doing the simplest tasks, like finding my first combat bug cage and item. I exterminated the bugs here one by one, getting a feel of the old school combat that must have been super fun to play on the old school PSP. I had a PSP myself, but I only ever played Medal of Honor Heroes or GTA Chinatown, so I would have never played this if it wasn't for the PlayStation Classics program. I defeated all the bugs here and made my way to the construction site for yet another brain dead trophy. I picked up more items here for various trophies and would have to clear each of these themed levels of all the bugs. It's all pretty straightforward, there's not much story, and it's always a big collectathon in these old platformer games. It can be very fun, but they weren't always clear with what they want you to do, because old games are very different to how they help players now. And I got stuck around this area with no idea where to go after spending a good few minutes jumping the wrong way, so I looked up a walkthrough to help me out.
I love that the walkthrough I had to watch also didn't know what to do, but accidentally did this. How... I love old game design, but oh my god, dude, I love old game design. way, I love new game design. I love new game design.
I met a new character that the devs definitely knew what they were doing with and unlocked a new ability. After that, I made it to this kart racing level where I had to chase the queen flying thing, and after defeating this big ass bug, got another trophy for that too. Having already collected a good amount of the 500 orbs needed, I made it to an area where I could play minigames. I would have to play all of them for a trophy and also get gold rank on one for a different trophy. But this first minigame was such a cool surprise to get a Matrix inspired minigame that threw me off completely. Like, we just don't get crossovers like this no more. Unfortunately, I only got bronze and not gold, so I would have to come back for that later. I took down more bugs in more levels, popping various super easy trophies before unlocking this double jump jetpack flamethrower thing that was pretty useful to burn enemies with as well. The missions did switch up every now and then with a vehicle or such, and I was trying to find as many of the orbs as I could, because I really wanted to play more of those minigames that would only unlock if I found more of them. But I was suddenly met with this giant boss fight queen bug that was honestly not that easy. There's no way this game would be a 2 out of 10 if it wasn't for the rewind feature, but I tried to avoid using that as much as possible. However, with the hitbox and registration being so off, I really did not like this fight. Fuck it, we ain't got time for that. Actually, bro. I played on as fast as I could to get through this game, because I'm still only halfway through the challenge. More levels, bugs, and orbs were smashed and collected, but at this point the game became a little boring. I liked playing as Daxter again, but these old games are just big collectathons with a scripted boss fight here or there. So much collecting everywhere made it pretty stale, so I wanted some more excitement. Thankfully, that was met with Braveheart minigame that I did in between levels, and is still a movie that has been on my watch list for so many years now, I don't even know if I'll ever get to it. But I managed to get half the orbs needed for a trophy already, but most of my trophies were just from entering a level, so trophies weren't as satisfying to earn in this game, I guess. But the orbs did help me unlock more minigames, which were probably the highlight of this game for me, and this was yet another cool theme. Sleepy Richard. Dude, I finally watched Game of Thrones, and it's just game after game after game that's throwing in references. I think I said Game of Thrones. I meant Lord of the Rings, dude. I am cooked. I am beyond exhausted. Wait, I haven't missed a single one yet. I could get a gold star here. Screw this up now. Bilbo Baggins, Phil, I forget what it is. I need to go to bed. What kind of reaction time do you need here, bro? Holy shit. I did it! Please tell me that's a gold trophy. Please. How is that a bronze? Yeah, finally watching Lord of the Rings has really been perfect to understand all of these references games throw in, and it wouldn't even be the last one of this challenge. I was exhausted anyway, so I logged off and went to bed and came back on day 4. I knew I had to log in today because I wouldn't be able to play much on day 5, so I grinded out more levels and even had to backtrack to previous levels for story progression, which was kinda confusing, but I popped many trophies doing so. And it felt like I was approaching the end of the story, where I unlocked yet another ability, this time a bomb, and I killed 3 bugs with one of them for another easy trophy. After clearing another 2 levels, I got confused about where to go once more because of the old game design not holding your hand. I went back and forth between levels, running through them again, but it kept sending me back to the same spot, so I was seriously confused what it wanted me to do. Because of that though, I managed to reach 500 orbs. But I still had no idea where to go, so I searched the internet for a guide and found this incredible forum from 17 years ago where Wizard1732003 had the same problem as me. I read the reply and thankfully this awesome 17-year-old reply helped me progress the game. I moved on towards the Hive Queen boss battle that I could now tackle, and that was pretty easy. So I got through that fight pretty quickly, but she probably spawned more of herself in a different level as I had to chase down a different queen in a speedboat to eventually take that down. After all that confusion, I finally went towards a new area dressed as this, I guess. This was the Baron's Palace, and because I had gotten 500 orbs by now, I didn't have to worry about those anymore. But instead, these James Bond Mission Impossible lasers that made me parkour through the entire level. It wasn't that bad though, and I sprinted past a few enemies for speedrun purposes. I go through the treasury and end up in the prison looking for Jack. We get told that Jack is in here somewhere and we're now going to try and save him. But these guards were so weird because they had crazy detection vision, but were also so incredibly dumb. Old game design really is something different, I guess. Here I also found a collectible mask that might be a Crash Bandicoot reference, but I'm not sure, so let me know if it is. I eventually get to the final boss of the game. He had multiple phases and janky hits, but I was able to evade and get through him pretty easily. And then I saw Jack and I saved him. Yeah, he was like only there for like 5 seconds total this game, but I guess it was cool because I'd now finished the story. And he left just 3 trophies before finishing the Big D. I tackled the mini games first because I really liked those and still needed that gold trophy. There was another Matrix minigame that was cool, and another Lord of the Rings You Shall Not Pass minigame that was even cooler. I mean, I really watched Lord of the Rings so I could just understand these references, and I'm glad I did, however boring those movies were. However, after completing all the minigames, I got a trophy for that, but still no gold rank trophy. Looks like Dumbledore prevented me from passing as well, because apparently I had to replay a level and then reach 100 points to unlock the trophy. So I picked the first Matrix level because that seemed easiest, and then played through the entire thing up to 100 points. Shamelessly using the blue pill to rewind on the 2 times I failed an input, all the way to 100. I just had a trophy for playing one afterthought game mode round of bug combat left, so I hopped into that to finish this game. Dude, this is a whole nother game. What is this, Bakugan, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Final Fantasy? 0 damage. I don't know what any of this does, dude. Just get it over with. That's it. Well, that's it, actually. Bug Boy Extraordinaire. Well, very simple and easy platinum, but I'll take it. W Big D. W Big D. Day 4 of 7 and got 4 letters platinumed. Perfectly on track, but like I said earlier, I knew I wouldn't be able to play much the next day, so there was no time to waste and I went straight into the next game. For the letter N, I didn't have that many games I was interested in or that fit my criteria. I saw No Man's Sky, but that would take too long, Neon White, but that would be too hard, 9 Souls as well, but I had to choose a game that I saw many people claim was a great experience. So from the same makers as Gris, Neva was up next. The second I booted up this game, I felt like I remembered it from a long state of play ages ago. A beautiful, cute indie game starring a wolf-like creature, and when I met my companion for the game, I had a feeling of what was to come. Oh my god, you just know this thing's gonna die at the end, bro. You can just fucking tell it's gonna tear you up because he's gonna die at the end, just like his fucking father, mother, whatever it was, bro. I can already tell. It's a 2D side-eye angled platformer where we start in chapter 1, the summer, and I'd have to keep an eye out for collectibles and miscellaneous trophies in every chapter. I quickly unlocked the sword, and that surprised me as I wasn't expecting combat in this game, but it was very welcomed, because it was a bit of a slow start with not much happening, but thanks to my sword I knew things would ramp up. I played through the first tutorial-like chapter learning about movement and combat and was met with a trophy at the end. In the next chapter I came across more of these freaky enemies, like they weren't really hard and would die in a couple hits, but not this big boss dude. I had to escape from him, but in the process I lost my boy, which was the inevitable split up I knew would also happen. However, we were only like split up for a couple minutes as I quickly saw them again. I had to clear this next area of enemies for Neva to follow me, but in the process managed to get the enemies to touch each other's willies for the friendly fire trophy. Even though I've only played 5 minutes of Hollow Knight in total, this is what I imagined it would play like. A few simple enemies along the way that you fight in this free-flowing combat and movement environment. It's pretty satisfying to play, and I was keeping my eyes out for flowers I needed to find for the one collectible trophy. A little further I come across this creep again, and I have to defeat him to finish the chapter. Honestly, it really wasn't hard at all, especially since you can regen your health by hitting the enemies a few times in a row without getting hit yourself. So it didn't take long for me to defeat Le Freak and finish the summer chapter. That brought us into the fall. With some nice scenery changes, Neva could now climb, and she had eaten some mushrooms and grown a little bit bigger. She also helped me out in combat now by hitting and biting enemies, and it felt like we were really becoming a team. Seriously getting into that alpha wolf territory now. There was also a side quest in this chapter for cuddling Neva a few times, so after a couple mini boss fights and enemies defeated, I snuggled up against her to pop that trophy. Oh, this game's too cute, bro. I proceed further into the story through chapters that had some absolutely beautiful moments, like honestly, and I was getting trophies at the end of each one. Eventually I reach an area where the enemies have taken over animals, and I would have to defeat each animal and honor them at the end. Some true Last of Us stuff, but this mammoth of a beast that I wanted to honor wouldn't trigger the animation, and instead made me love Neva for the 20th time for a completely different trophy. Confused about what I had to do, it turned out I just had to move 20 feet for another scripted sequence to start, and that gave me a new ability, so I kinda stressed a little here for nothing because of that, but I managed to honor the last animal necessary. Okay. Into the next full chapter, I literally fall down into the nether, and inside this dark and gloomy space, I had to break several statues for another side quest trophy. But this place really reminded me of Death's Door. Similar black, grey, and red accents with stairs and aesthetics that just reminded me of that peak experience. There were also some cool fights and light puzzles here, and I broke each statue I came across until I destroyed the final one. There was another sick scenic boss fight here that I really enjoyed and managed to defeat to stay nice and safe with Neva and move into the winter time. This game's beautiful, bro. Winter is coming. In the winter, I can now mount and ride her like the true alpha wolf she is, and I had to find 4 birds and set them free. I found 2 of them, but then got saved by a ghost dog. Not sure who or what that is, but it was pretty awesome. Combat was definitely more prominent in this game than I ever expected, but I really liked it. Smooth movement and satisfying hits made it fun to play, and it was just the right amount of challenge I wanted for a game like this. But combat wasn't the only thing that was challenging, because this section was hard for different reasons. Oh my god, it's just as trippy, dude. It is like I have to go left to go right, and right to go left. It is fucking up my mind, but it's so fucking cool. Ow. Okay, big brain. I need to go there. Shoo! Oh, dude, this gets your I can't make that. No, what? I'll take that. I did not know that was going to be the trophy. Dude, oh my god, what is going on, dude? This is so cool, but confusing, bro. But I got it. Peak, dude. Oh, and then combat again, dude. And then I instantly die, bro. I am dying so much more than I ever thought I would. I don't know where to look. Do I look up or down? Oh my god, I almost went the wrong way. Now I look down, and I go up. Holy mindfuck, bro. I love it. And the colors as well are just so fucking pretty, dude. Holy shit. I love it. It's confusing, but I love it. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. Oh, fuck. This teases my brain in the exact amount of neurons needed, bro. Can you make this? Where do I go now? Holy shit. It's 3D chess, bro. It's so peak though. I said in Hoa, I said it was the only game I'd ever seen. Now I see it in this. I don't know which came first, but I love them both for it because it's so peak. I meet Ghost Dog again and then have to fight off this queen of evil presence that's been following us the entire game. I do some temple run stuff to get out of there and then get saved by Ghost Dog once more. But he then walks off with Neva into the abyss and I am left behind all alone, like the solo player I am. So I call for Neva a few times but she doesn't reply. However, I got a message from PlayStation saying I did, so they gave me this trophy. This chapter was basically just a whole bunch of parkour and puzzles. Some easier than others and some that were a bit more tricky. But it simply wasn't as interesting of a chapter as the others. Probably due to the bleak white background, but at least I was nearing the end as I approached the final boss fight. That actually required me to lock in for a moment as it was a bit of a difficulty spike I wasn't prepared for. Let's go Wolfpack. Oh my god, there's a phase 2. Fuck off. Fuck off, dude. Maar het is zo fucking net. Waarom doet hij het dan niet? If there's one game mechanic that pisses me off, it's bumping into an enemy and taking damage when they don't hit you. You're just standing there and walk into them and then you take damage. Just their fucking aura hits you. Like, what the fuck? Just die already, will you? Thank you. Thank you. Do not phase 3 me. Well, don't kill him either. Let's go! Eventually, the evil presence seems to have been killed with a scarred Neva as a result. But we ride off into the distance to pop a story trophy and head into the spring. And then sing under this tree for the final side quest, to eventually have a very full circle moment and finish the game. That it? I was gonna say no story trophy, there we go. Finish the game. Cute, cute story. After watching the unskippable 5-minute credit sequence, I went back to get the few things I missed. Some flower collectibles and one side quest remained, so I quickly loaded back in through chapter select and was really glad I did most of the others already, because this could have taken a while otherwise. But I mean, this side quest was super easy as well, by letting Neva munch on a bunch of grapes 4 times. And then I'd already found the other flowers I missed up until the final one to finish the letter N. There we go. Very beautiful game. Cute game. However, W plat. However, I don't think I'll be starting the next game today. I already know what it is, but I won't be able to play much tomorrow, and it's already way too late. So, I don't know how we're gonna do that. Yeah, it was too late to start the next letter already, and with me not being able to play much the next day, I was a bit bummed to fall behind my own schedule. But at least I was nearing the end, as I had platinumed 5 out of 7 letters already. And I knew what I wanted to play for the next letter A as well. There were again quite a few games to pick from, like Alan Wake 2 that is super high on my list, A Plague Tale Requiem, Among Us, Animal Well, and many others, but I was browsing the store until I saw this game that I had never seen or heard of before, and it really piqued my interest. And that was Akimbot. So on day 5 of the challenge, I booted up this game that I knew nothing about, but it looked cool on the store pictures. It does have quite a confusing trophy list at first glance, so I wanted to make sure I was playing as efficiently as possible, as it's also the longest game on paper. The opening cutscene surprised me a lot, with a cool basic storyline and voiced characters that I really didn't expect. We were kidnapped by mobsters and our ship has crashed, so now it's up to us to find a way to escape off the planet and away from the robot mob. I spawn in for the first trophy, and just like Daxter from before, I would get a trophy for spawning into every level, so it would be a tsunami of trophies coming at us. But also for lots of miscellaneous trophies, like for destroying 75% of all the crates around the game, which is kinda daunting, but there's also the regular 30 collectible data drives that we had to find. In these levels there would usually be a miscellaneous trophy, and here it was to smash 10 of these robot inhabitants. So I just Jake pulled a bunch of them and popped that trophy. I also found the first of 30 data drives a little further, and was genuinely in awe of how good this game looked. I mean, you're probably thinking the same as me, because yeah, this game does look a lot like a Ratchet & Clank clone, maybe with some knack sprinkled in. There's nothing wrong with it, because I really liked the opening minutes, and it only got better. There was also a trophy here for becoming a DJ Martin Garrix wannabe and dancing at this beach rave, so I got that out of the way too. We basically play as a mercenary robot named Exy with a banker finance bot Shipset, who just both happened to be kidnapped by the mob for different reasons, but their chemistry was really good. So in defeating these mobs and finally unlocking a gun, we could finally really get started. I found the third and final data drive on this level as well, which rewarded me with a trophy. And after some more quirky, funny dialogue, I buy the first special weapon from the upgrade shop. Obtain your first weapon? Dude, this game's pretty fun so far, man. I am surprised. There'd be a few trophies here connected to this shop, but that's for later, as I was focusing on just smashing every crate I saw to ensure I destroyed 75% of the entire game's crates. Next I come across Vito Corleone here, and it was a fun and quick easy boss fight, so much that I defeated him really swiftly. Apparently though, this was just an intro for the bigger picture, because once we talk to Master Chief over here, who is the ambassador of the universe, he tells us the planet is under attack from Dr. Evilbot. So we shoot our way through the enemies and parkour over the many obstacles in our way. This is where another miscellaneous trophy is for defending the planet and not letting a single ship pass with the anti-air gun. These Lord of the Ring references keep coming, bro. Keep an eye out for the trophy names because a lot of them have some really cool references. Unfortunately, as much as I like to glaze the game, it wasn't all perfect because I did have some major frame drop issues every time the game autosaved at a checkpoint, but also when it wouldn't start a cutscene once I had cleared the area, so I had to restart, which was a bit of a bummer. But after that, Master Chief tells us we need to go on a special mission to save the universe and defeat Evilbot with the artifact. After some hyperspace TIE Fighter action, I land on a new planet and had to do a Street Fighter Tekken Mortal Kombat minigame without getting hit. You know me by now, my non-existent fighting skills sucked at this, and it took me more attempts than it should have, but studying the predictable attack pattern helped me get there in the end. I end up in a cave after Evilbot had found the time-traveling artifact we were after, but I sadly had to go spend some time outside for my weekly smell of fresh air. However, after coming home late at night, I knew I had a challenge to finish. So I opened up my portal in bed and even popped a few trophies that would disappear too quickly for the camera.
Let's go. Wait, where's my fucking trophy? It's gone again. It's gone again. I can't get him, but I'm going to bed. Fuck.
I came back the next morning on day 6 of the challenge, directly popping a trophy for landing on the short neck's head, because somehow we had now traveled back in time thanks to that artifact. Thankfully, the self-aware personalities of the bots we play as made fun of the game like High on Life for doing simple fetch or escort quests. I mean, I really could not believe how fun this game was. Like, sorry, I have to glaze it. I just never expected it to be this good. I then opened a barber shop to do some money laundering and upgrade my Akimbos to Akimbot level 3. Yet, for some reason, you can only equip one of these with you at a time, so that's kinda stupid. But it's whatever, as we next fly squadron style into an interstellar black hole. This was due to more time travel stuff. However, I can't lie, this level was incredibly boring. It stretched out for so long and dragged on forever with very little happening in between. But after that Death Star sequence, I land on the evil mothership to retrieve the artifact and have to sneak past these enemy Horizon dinosaur guards. Unlike the Daxter guards, these were much easier to navigate around and got another fitting named trophy. Next up in this Squid Game area was this laser corridor I had to get through without touching any. Which sounds simple enough. However, all of these areas still had crates in them, and to get that 75%, I had to break these as well, which was super distracting and actually got me killed once or twice. Oh my god, why am I so stupid, bro? But just like every trophy here, it's pretty easy if you just don't be stupid and have more than 3 brain cells working at once, so I miraculously got through it to pop a trophy for a reference I didn't recognize, so let me know if you do. After some space war drama, Exy and Shipset make it to a snowy planet where there's a trophy for destroying all the mines with yet another cool Bomberman trophy. This planet had a warmth mechanic to stay close to the fire or else you'll freeze to death, which I don't know if that's possible for these bots, but I liked it. All of a sudden we have this massive boss fight with the commander who holds the artifact and have to take him down to prevent more time travel nonsense from happening. And he was a fun fight. Jumping around and doing damage with the many guns in my arsenal was really fun, and this time I didn't end up second and actually won something by taking him down. However, after that, I arrive at a location where I have to make it to the extraction zone without getting hit. It was for the Gotta Go Fast trophy, but oh my god was this impossible. It was just such an insanely hard run to make, because this early narrow corridor had no room to dodge, and my guns were too weak to take down enemies fast enough. I would have used one of my special weapons, but those weren't charged, and I couldn't switch to the one I wanted with a shield because I wasn't near a shop. It just made it so hard. I mean, I would take damage if I even failed one of the hacking minigames. It was insane. So fuck Snake and fuck this trophy. Oh my god, bro. Bro, how are you meant to do this? Like actually, this is so hard. Don't shoot me, 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 don't shoot me. Bro, look how narrow this corridor is, bro. How are you meant to... I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do this. No, I actually can't do this. I actually can't do this. I'm gonna do this after the story. I can't do this. Yeah, major laser skill issue for later, but hey, the guide says it's the hardest trophy in the game, so allow it. I meet up with Master Chief again, and he sends us into a tank to play a bit of Battlefield, and I had to drive over 15 enemies for a trophy. However, this again dragged on for a bit too long and got boring and stale real quick. So after blowing up a few tanks and driving over the 15th enemy, I was glad to move on from this. The artifact has now fallen into Master Chief's hands. However, he pulls a shepherd on us and we are sent to this super weird level. Like, look at this. What is actually going on, bro? I love this game so much. There's all these weird unicorns and cute bears attacking me, and I have to walk on rainbow roads, like what the flip. Even having to play some kids games here, like another actual Squid Game red light green light, and got a funny trophy for that. Then I did a quick barrel roll and had to play a few more children's games to end up at a chicken jockey boss fight. I have no idea what's going on, it's all so silly, but I loved it. After leaving Mario Kart Land, we end up in Fallout New Vegas. Here I come across a missile that I have to disarm. However, after cutting the wrong wire, I got yet another great trophy name. Very bad James Bond. I love this game and its references, bro. There were even more funny references, like when using the missile to fly through these rings to get a Sonic reference. And then I shot a camera in this prison break level before it could see me, and then celebrated like John Cena in awkward silence because my mic died once again. I was still destroying crates everywhere I went, and always kept my eyes open for him, but I was in the final few chapters of the game now and still hadn't gotten it. And if I didn't get it before the end, I would have to start a whole new playthrough just for this. It kinda started stressing me out, but I just had to keep smashing every single crate I saw.
You don't know how relieved I am to see that, bro. What a trophy. Jeez, these frame drops are... Oh my god, it's so insane here. What the fuck? It's like the only negative... It's insane. The only negative thing I have about this... Ow. The frame drops every time it saves, but now it's doing it every time I hit something, bro.
Yeah, I turned into a B1 series battle droid to fit in with the lore of the game, and soon after found the final collectible as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are very close to being done, very.
However, just like my stepsis, I got stuck in an elevator after finding a secret machine we needed to stop the artifact time travel madness, so I had to beat all 4 of these fun, simple minigames for a hack trophy. I'm sure that's a reference to that movie as well, so let me know because I haven't watched that yet. But after the elevator, we go back into a vehicle mission which, aside from the frame drops, were the only thing I didn't like because they were just so slow and boring and just dragged on forever each time. But just like in Rise of the Skywalker, the entire fleet shows up that we have to take down. But somehow, we make it through that and take down Master Chief for some beautiful revenge after he turned on us. But in this final fight, I make it to the bizarre but funny last few minigames in the final boss fight against both the bad guys. I only got here thanks to the great guide I followed, so massive shout out to the people that made guides. Where would this platinum hobby be without you? Actually, thank you. But it was rewarding, cool last fight, and it felt satisfying after taking both bad guys down and restoring peace to the universe. I pooped the final story trophy after the evil guy sabotaged my mic once again.
Trophy! Trophy!
With just one trophy remaining that I was skilled issued out of before, I went back to attempt that again. Well, hopefully the shitty mic is working now, because I don't think it recorded any of the last couple hours, but that's fine. I am still fucking pissed at this. No, you can't see the projectiles coming at you, bro. It's so hard. No, it's so... This corridor is so narrow. And I want to use my super weapon that has the power up with the shield of all things, but I can't use it because I can't select it. And this one doesn't have any ammo. It's so dumb. I took damage again. It's just fucking insane. I can't get through this corridor, dude. What the freak, man? Oh my god. Okay, we are so far. We are pretty close. I swear there might only be like 3 enemies left. Come on. Come on. Come on. Final enemy. Don't be stupid. Please tell me that counted. Yes! Come on! Plattybot. What a game, dude. What a phenomenal game. What a surprisingly, incredibly surprisingly fucking fun, fantastic game. Go check it out yourself. On to the last. And a new milestone. We take those. The 6th letter of my name platinumed on the 6th day of the challenge, and I was so on track to completing this challenge. And with over 24 hours remaining for the final and best letter in my name, S, I had an idea for which game I wanted to play. S does have a lot of interesting games like Star Wars Outlaws, Split Fiction, Saints Row, and all these others. However, one game stood out to me that was none other than the supposed Goat Sim 2, Squirrel with a Gun. This is one of those goofy games you see on Twitter go viral as a Steam game, so I was really surprised to see this get a console release. I'd seen clips of this and I was just expecting a very similar experience to Goat Sim, but because I was starting well ahead of the deadline, I was going to add a little
spice to that.
I wanted to farm some aura by trying to platinum this game without looking at the trophy list. No idea if it's possible and I'll probably fail miserably, but I wanted to give it a shot. Upon booting up the game, I was met with some classic James Bond-esque music to get into the mood, and load into a top secret base where I spot a golden acorn that I had to figure out how to get. This is so goofy. I love it already. I love it already. I don't know how I'm gonna get to that though. Well, the game doesn't tell you anything, so that fits perfectly with this mini challenge. Can a squirrel not roll around? Wait. Aha! I got it. Nice. Oh, I can hold to throw. No way. Peak. Maybe trophy. Yes! Let's go. That's 1 out of 20. Like the first golden acorn. Okay, well then there's probably going to be 100 golden acorns that I need to get. I was expecting to collect a lot of golden acorns, do all the side quests and stories, and possibly a bunch of random miscellaneous trophies just like in Goat Sim. Upon leaving the bunker and entering the main town of the game, I was actually a little lost. I didn't know what to do, find or go towards, so I just figured collecting the golden acorns would be a good start. These were hidden in easy to spot but hard to reach places. Sometimes you would need a special outfit to reach them, like this bomb suit, but oftentimes they were in spots where you needed to parkour towards, like climbing up or over something. There were also these flagpoles that worked like Assassin's Creed viewpoints, even with a hay bale at the bottom, and I was hoping there would be a trophy for climbing them all. Since there were only 20 trophies in total, I figured they had to be for the main things. However, with as many golden acorns as I found, nothing was happening. I kept finding them one by one, but I had no idea what to do with them. I didn't see anywhere to go and was kinda running around without an idea on what to focus on. It wasn't until so much more running around this village later that I finally triggered a cutscene. As much as I loved the opening 5 minutes, this game got insanely boring really quickly, I can't even lie. It wasn't as fun or goofy as Goat Sim, and there wasn't a whole lot to do, with zero guidance on where to go. I did spot this car in the middle though, and was saving up my acorns for that. This game's so boring. How am I ever gonna do this without a guide? Oh! Drive a car. It's only taken me over an hour, but I finally got a trophy. What the fuck, dude? I'm never getting this without a guide. I'll just say it right now. It's not happening. You can skip forward in the video. You'll see. I've used a guide. So I came back on the final morning of the deadline day challenge, resisting the urge to look at the trophy guide to speed things up, and then I spotted a massive spotlight over this bunker where the father had popped out of. So I drove there and went inside, only to be met with a giant tank boss fight. This was such an absurdly weird fight, but it was quite fun and not hard at all. After blowing him up and getting a trophy for doing so, a new playable area opened up with more acorns to find. Loki kinda wished that didn't happen because it only meant more collecting to do for the inevitable find all acorns trophy, but whatever. I did some USA Hand Egg Bowl Super Bowl highlights and found 2 acorns there, but still no miscellaneous trophy for anything. Exploring every cranny and nook of the map before I walked into this western movie set and saw a small outhouse that I investigated. Oh, what? Find every latrine. What? I don't even think I did that, but I'll take it. I just couldn't figure it out. Also not why Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, was following me everywhere, but okay. I tried looking for another car but didn't spot one, so I was just mindlessly farming more acorns. Often getting stuck and occasionally getting annoyed because the map resets your damage or progress very quickly, which made it incredibly frustrating and not at all rewarding to do stuff. But I did come across a pool and had a boat there, so I was hoping that would help me out. So I got more acorns for Kobeing the basketball and even stripped for 5 minutes for another, but still no trophy. until I went to the boat, unlocked it, and went in to pop one after all. Gee! This boat ride took me to a secret agent water park. I still don't know why there are KGB agents all over, or the mother this time who was probably going to be the next boss fight, but I followed the same routine of exploring the map and getting any golden acorns. But I saw those big red buttons that I'm sure would open the door to the big tower, so I finally had something I knew I had to do. However, before doing any of that, I walked up to this actual NPC and pointed my gun at them accidentally and got this.
Oh, what? Another? Hold up a citizen. Okay.
I was climbing the tower to see if I could start the boss fight, but was only met with more annoying parkour and stupid agents. Somehow I managed to drive into this one, and that was apparently the 100th enemy I had defeated for a trophy. All this parkour was pissing me off, not gonna lie, so I just focused on opening the door instead. I was slowly running out of time though, because figuring out how to press these buttons was taking longer than I expected. So after finally pressing the first accidentally because I dropped onto it, I knew I had to lock in. It took more brain power than I ever thought I had in me, and honestly took so long to figure out some of these insane puzzles for this, but I finally managed to press the 5th big red button to open the big door. It had a drone hidden inside, and this would probably pop a trophy again and take me up the tower. So I collected more golden acorns to have enough, and well, I was right. This took me up to another fight with the mother. However, I was sat there in silence again because my stupid mic didn't work again, so please like and subscribe so I can become a full-time YouTuber, please. This fight, however, was nothing special and similar to the father, so after evading her shots and taking her down, I managed to get past her.
Trophy!
However, it threw me straight into the credits, where I spotted the score at the bottom that I thought would either give me 129 acorns or even a trophy. So I focused real hard to shoot all the devs and business people in the air, and to my relief, it actually was.
Trophy!
However, now that time was actually closing in and I was unsure of how much more grindy post-game content this game had to offer, I sacrificed some integrity after popping half the trophies to go into Aura Depth and look at the trophy list.
Would have never gotten that trophy. Don't know what that is. Perform every takedown. I feel like I've done already. Hold up 20 citizens. That's robbing them. I've done probably one. I think I've taken 2 photos, which I probably would have never done. Steal a phone doesn't sound too hard. Perform a superhero landing. I have no idea what that is. Gonna have to use a guide. Shave 30 citizens and agents. And I have no idea what that is. But let's do it. Time's running out. We gotta be quick.
Luckily, the first miscellaneous trophy wasn't hard to understand.
Oh wait, do I grab the phone? Yes, that was it. Okay, peak. We might be on track.
I was really surprised there was no 100% trophy or finding all acorns like I thought, but at least I knew what I had to do now. But now it was just a question if I could figure that out without using a guide. Looking for this oil trophy was my main focus next, but I had no idea where to look. I thought the western area or maybe an industrial spot, but I couldn't see anything. So I was going to do the other trophies first, whilst looking for that oil in the background. I did look in the secret bunker real quick, but saw nothing there, so I went back to the exit only to do this.
Are you fucking... Well, I was gonna save that for my last trophy, but... I'm getting so pissed off at the fucking parkour in this game, bro.
The trophy for getting all takedowns confused me, as I was sure I had done them all, but since I had gotten the Splat trophy just before, I was now going to make that takedown my final trophy. So next I was going to try and grab a rocket, so I went to the rocket arena area and got it within a few tries. Moving around the map was super slow, but thankfully the quadcopter made this more bearable, and after accidentally bumping into an enemy's head with it, I shaved their hair off, and that's when it clicked that I had to use the quadcopter to do that for 2 trophies. So just as simple as it sounds, I did that for both the agents and civvies to get 2 easy trophies. I held up a bunch of civvies and robbed them of their acorns, probably making Scrat kinda jealous, and managed to rob the 20th one quickly. Getting them to take a picture with me was a lot more rare, however, so it took me a little more patience before I got the 15th person to take a selfie with me. As long as the aliens wouldn't invade us or President pressing any big red buttons, I had just 2 trophies remaining before finishing the challenge on time. I started looking at every tiny spot on this pretty small map for that oil drum. I looked for Sean John Combs' house for other oils or anything with oil, but I just didn't have a clue. So after completing half the trophy list without looking at it and not using a guide for the other half until these 2 trophies, I was forced to look for some online help. Shout out to the people that made guides though, because honestly, where would this hobby be without you goats? So upon finding the solution, it made sense why I didn't find it, because honestly, unfortunately, I am not American, so I would have never spotted this.
I give up. I looked so much so far for this oil, but this should be the one. I don't know why this is oil though. This should be the one. It's the only trophy I needed a guide for. Trophy? Oh, wait, what? That's oil. How are you ever supposed to know that? But it's not even giving me the... Or do I need to get wet? I'm an oil squirrel. What a stupid trophy. I would have never done that. But I'm a black one now.
Black one?
Then I think and hope that this is my last takedown. Oh, there we go. That might be it. This might be it. This might be it. Nope. Okay. Let me do a take. There's a takedown. There's a takedown. I can't do that. There's a takedown. Here's a takedown. That's it. We've done it. What a platinum screenshot. Jesus. Let's go, bro. Platinum acorn. And that's it. Let's fucking go. Look at that. S-A-N-D-R-E-Z. SANDREZ is the name. We've actually done it. Peak.
7 days, 7 platinum trophies, and I had spelt my name out with these sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit games. Let me know if you would platinum your name and what games you would pick, and if you want to see me platinum the original alphabet challenge in 50 days, then check out this video. And that's it. See you.